Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the second episode of our C# tutorial, and this time we shall be doing the entity class. So I just looked at the last video there and I didn't realize my mouse actually wasn't being captured, which was bad, so for this video it should be there. And what the game is actually going to be now, I have an idea towards it, so let's just start by creating the entity class, which we'll just call. So if you're making a game and you had enemies, this would be enemies. But we're not going to have enemies in our game just yet. So we're just going to call this, we'll call it blocks, okay? So just blocks. And it's a class. If you remember how to do it, you just right click up here, add, and then class. So for this, we're going to basically copy absolutely everything from the player class. Copy that. And get rid of class blocks and these two brackets and paste. Now we're going to change from player to blocks. You're going to copy blocks, just the word blocks, and everywhere you see player you're going to change to block, basically. Any more players? Yeah, these are all player rectangles. Now block and block. Actually, we don't even need an update method for the blocks, so we can go ahead and basically take everything out of that. Right now, we don't need that. You're going to change this to a block texture and the block rectangle. And color.white is fine, and vector 2s. Change this to block. And this to block. Now you have problems here, so if you just right click on this, resolve using framework, resolve, that one's done, texture 2D, resolve using Microsoft Graphics, keyboard state, we don't actually need in this one. Oh, got rid of a semicolon there. Content manager, resolve using content, that's going to be block texture. And then we're going to have block texture, block rectangle, color.white. Cool. So this is what we're going to do to make our blocks. So right now if you run the game you should have no builders, and we do, of course. One extra bracket. Yup. So you run it now and you should still have your player moving around the screen, which is perfect at the moment because that's all we want. So now that we have that, we want to go to our content, add existing item, and you want to add in some blocks. So I've already made these blocks and I'll leave them in the download. I'll leave them in the description for you to download. Everything's going to be uploaded to Dropbox, so you can just go there and download the latest version from what I have. So we have blue block, green block, and red block, basically. And they have a position auto-assigned, which is this. We're just going to change this to 0, 0. And the blocks width and height, I don't know. What is the width and height? I think we'll go with yeah, let's just change it to block texture dot width, and then block texture dot height. Oh god. Dot height. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we may find out how big that is first before we do anything. So let's go into our game class. Again, like we made the player, we're going to do blocks. And we're going to call this just block for now, because we're only going to draw one at the moment, but we will change that to more. So we're going to do block.load content, and then let's do the red one, so red block. And then in our draw, we're going to do block.draw sprite batch. So it's essentially the exact same class as the player right now, only you don't have movement in it for your update. There should just be nothing in your update, so we don't even need to call it. So if we run this now, object not set to a reference. Okay, I know what that problem is. You see, what we do first is, when we do this, we need to go block is equal to new block, or new blocks. It's probably bad to write the S on the end. We shouldn't have done the S on that, but it's okay. Yeah, now this is what I thought was going to happen. This was going to be a problem because, you see, you're creating this in the constructor, but if you left this the way it was, you took this out here, stop running the game first, and you put it underneath here in your load content, it should run this time. Yeah, there we go, we have our block. Now the reason that didn't run actually before was because what was happening was you were creating the blocks first, which is done in here in the game class, so it creates the block. When it's creating the block, it's actually looking for your width and height of a block texture, but your block texture loading doesn't get called until afterwards. So that's blank, and whenever there's a null value in there, X and A will not run it. So that's basically it. So we have our red block. We gonna change that position, I think, first off anyway. So we'll move that to like 100, 200. Yeah, cool. So it's there. So right now we go through the block and everything, which is fine. It doesn't really matter. For now, that's good. So we should be pretty happy with that. What the game is going to be is basically, you're going to go through the level, the camera's going to follow your player, so it's not going to be like this, it's going to be kind of like a platformer. And the goal is, the ground is made of different color blocks, and depending, like you press like maybe Q, W and E. Q refers to a red background, W refers to a blue background, and E refers to a green background. And you change the background to reveal the different blocks along the way, basically. So when you have a red background, you go straight through the red, and when it's like a blue background, you collide with the red. So that is what we're going to go for. For now, that seems pretty okay. Don't seem to be any real issues with this. We can change this to red block texture, and change everywhere here, red block texture, and red block texture. And if you don't even need to copy this, just put a comma and do blue block texture, and then green block texture. Like this. We will copy this here, and we shall do blue block texture, or blue block rectangle, and this is going to be green, isn't it? Green rectangle, yeah. Instead of red here, this is going to be blue, and this one here is going to be blue, and then this one here is going to be green, and we're going to change this to red block rectangle. Then you're going to have a green block rectangle and a blue block rectangle. So we can change this to red, and then we have no problems apart from the draw. Now, so for this, we're going to have to put in for each of them. So you can separate them if you want. You can have a red one, that's going to be the blue one, that's going to be the green one, just to make it easier on your eyes. So that's going to be blue block texture and green block texture. And you're going to pass through content.name. So for now, they're all going to have the exact same thing. Like when you draw this red block thing with red block texture or whatever, it's going to be like that. Because basically when you call the load function, you're loading in this and it loads in red block. So you don't really get to use it, if you get me. But if you put in string here, and instead of name you had red string, and you made the rest like blue string, and then green string. Just for now, we'll just get 3 different color blocks up on the screen. This isn't the best way to do it, but for now, it's going to be okay. We can tidy it up later. Because it's a small game, it's not going to be that important to tidy up. Okay, so that's green string. Cool. So if we go back to our game, we're going to pass through the red block, then we're going to pass through green block, and then we're going to pass through the blue block. And then that's it. We probably should have swapped these two. Just because that's the way we have it done in our block. We have red, blue, green. So in here we should have red, blue, green too. Just so like if anyone looks at your code, they kind of understand what you're doing and what you're passing through. So right now, if we go into our blocks and we do this, and we change this to blue, and this to green from red, and again here we change this one to blue, and we change this one to green. Now it should draw all of them but with different positions, so you can have red position, blue pause, and green pause. We're going to change that to pause because position is much too long to look at. So the red position is there, and you can do blue pause. It's equal to we'll go 300, and 200 is fine for now actually, and green pause. It's equal to, let's say 100 and then 50, like this. So instead of all these being positions, you're going to have to tidy them up. So for the red one, it's going to be red position.x and red position.y. For the blue one, it's going to be blue position.x, blue position.y, and the green one, the exact same, green position.x and green position.y. So now we're going to have to take this out, just our getter and setter. For now, we'll just comment it out like that. So we run it now, and there we go. We have our 3 different blocks drawn on the screen, which is pretty cool if you've never done anything like this before. It's pretty cool. I'm going to just give this 350 just to separate the two, because I think they're 100 in width. No, they're not. They're a little more than 100. Maybe they're 120 in width each. Yeah, they are. They look about 120 maybe in width each between them. Okay, cool. So for now we have our blocks there drawing, and that's going to be it just for today. Just making another class, keeping it tidy. We'll call it blocks, and we have 3 different blocks drawn on the screen, which is pretty cool. If you wanted to make it better, you could do like a block factory class, and inside there you'd have a red block, a green block, and a blue block. So that's probably what we're going to do later when we come to actually making the game, but for now the blocks class is okay to use. So I'd like to thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, let me know, and see ya.